there, and welcome to DollMotion. On this channel, we repaint animal dolls, which I use for my stop-motion animation series, Divus. In this video, we're going to make a grey wolf, named Boris Folk. And to make it extra special, I invite my good friend, Dolllynx, to turn this video into a collab. So, hold tight to the end to see our wolves together. But for now, let's make Boris Folk. If you saw the wolf figure in my previous repaint video, then you found a hint. This video will contain 3 hints. 2 for the upcoming supporter reward video and 1 for the next YouTube repaint video. So, good luck, and I would love to read your findings in the comments. For our project, we're going to use, like always, this very easy to animate Obitsu male body. Like we did with Jeff, we're going to extend the legs with a few centimeters. And for his head, we're going to use Monster High Invisi Billy, which was gifted to me with many more male heads by World Within Worlds. Again, thank you so much. Now I'm set to make many more male characters. Switching back to the body, our character is 36 years old. And that means, stating to the Divus universe rules, he will need slightly digigraded legs. So let's cut them up with a Dremel. And now that we have the Dremel out, let's also make a hole for his future tail. Okay, switching back to the head. Boris is getting grey hair, so to remove the blue hair, we cut it as close to the scalp as possible. Then we go through the neck opening with tweezers to remove the remaining hairs and glue. And then we can harvest some ears for our collection. And remove the factory painted face with acetone. Great, all prepped. Now we only need to prep the body. We first remove the torso joint, and now we can dye all the pieces with red dye more. You actually don't need a lot of dye, because dyeing plastic is based on temperature. But be careful you don't melt the plastic. But my grey dye always comes out so brown. It's the same problem I had with Hank, although the hands came out great. Time to reconstruct the legs. For this, we use a tiny piece of craft foam to protect the joints within. Then we use glue and wire to connect the leg pieces. Okay, time for Epoxy Sculpt. By mixing A and B together, we can make wolf ears, and close the gap on the legs. When the epoxy sculpt is dry and hard, we can take off the ears. Okay, we're making an overall grey wolf, so we're going to take out our grey primer. And cover every piece with 2 layers. Now we have a surface to paint on, with the right color of grey paint. And why not also paint the ears? We don't want our wolf to be all grey, so let's give him a white belly. Not forgetting the inside of the ears. To prevent the paint to chip around the neck area, we give it a layer of super glue. Now we cover all the pieces with 2 layers of matte varnish. Giving it some time to dry, we're going to work on some fur. To make fur, we use acrylic yarn. We bind it to a giant fly swatter and comb out the yarn. Then we glue it to a plastic bag with fabric glue. And wait for the glue to dry. To make homemade flock, we take a yarn weft and cut it in teeny tiny pieces. To make an armature for a tail, we take a wire and cover it with bandage tape. This way the yarn weft will have something to attach to. Speaking of the yarn wefts, they're all dry and can be peeled off the plastic bag. The plastic bag can of course be reused. We're going to make a wolf tail, which is almost the same as a dog tail like with Harrison. It's going to be half grey and half white. We begin with the white and then we glue the grey over it. We comb it in a part and voila, a fluffy tail. Okay, let's also fluff up the ears. We begin with white flock, then grey flock, and a streak of white yarn for the finishing touch. Now that the varnish is dry, we can assemble the body. It's almost like a toy you get in a surprise egg. But we do want to switch out the neck pack for a bigger one, so we have a better grip on the head. But this does mean putting the head on the body can be difficult. Luckily, you can use a hot glue gun to soften the neck area. And why not also secure the tail in place? Great, it's time to turn this man into a wolf, using my trusty Epoxy Sculpt again. We sculpt our boy a snout with little cute teeth. And with the leftover Epoxy Sculpt, we give his hands claws. The next day, we can sand down the snout for a smoother finish. A small layer of super glue to prevent cracks, and now we can prime him up. When that's dry, we can give him 2 layers of grey paint to match his head with the body. And now that's drying, we can give the hands also the correct color. To paint final, flexible hands, it's best to mix your paint with fabric glue. This will prevent the paint from chipping off, which happens very fast when you animate or pose a doll. Sorry people, but our character is married, so he also gets a ring. Switching back to the head, we paint in a nozzle. Well, I'm not sure if it's really a nozzle, if it's almost his entire face. When that's dry, we can spray the face with Mr. Super Clear. This will give us a great surface to sketch in a new face with watercolor pencils. Seeing the doll now, I wonder how many people think I'm making Legoshi? Yeah, he's not based on Legoshi. As a good contrast with all that grey, we're going to give him yellow eyes. And now that I'm shading the eyes with pen pastels, let's answer the question of the day. DollMotion, would you ever consider selling any of your costumes? Well, for many years, The thought of selling any of my dolls was kinda out of the question, but I'm actually selling a huge part of my doll collection, so I can make space for new dolls I can make. Many already have a new home, but if you see one you like, you can check out my stories on Instagram. And who knows, maybe you can have your very own one-of-a-kind DollMotion doll. Back to the face-up. Some finishing touches with pen pastels, and we can seal the new face with Mr. Superclear. Now that we have a face up, we can place back the ears with super glue. I want Boris to be very fluffy, so that means bushy eyebrows. And we're also going to fur up his face. It's kinda the same technique I used on Daisy and Sabrina, but this time in a much bigger volume. When the fabric glue is dry, we can trim the fur with a scissor and an eyebrow razor. Great, now you can add more hair. Using yarn wefts, glue and a silicone tool, I glue on the wefts with a kit glue and a spiral to the top. It's kinda tricky around the ears, but for me the part in the middle is always the hardest to do. But it came out great. But it does need a trim though. Great, Mr. Wolf is done, but he still needs an outfit. Collecting all the grey fabrics I own, I draw out a few patterns. Some are bought and some are made by myself. First we make a simple shirt with snaps in the back. I still have this little logo, so let's transfer it onto the shirt. That looks pretty neat, if I do say myself. Then we make him jeans, with of course working back and front pockets. The vest was kinda tricky because I wanted to have a fur color. Lucky, I was gifted this fake fur by Doll's Brand New Look a few years back. And I think it's perfect for this costume. So thank you, Bozena. And here we go, a vest with a zipper and working pocket. For his bag, I want to remake my partner's in real life bag in miniature. It's one of those bags you can roll up. And here we go, a fully functional miniature bag. For his shoes, I used a pair from a Jackson Jackal doll. A small color change and voila! We have a wolf man with an outfit. Let's dress him up! Boris Folk will be a character in the Divus series where he'll be looking together with his baby boy Lowell for his lost wife. If you're not familiar with the Divus series, or you wonder why you can't find any episodes on the DollMotion channel, the Divus series got its own channel, with a remake of the first episode. Although it's the same story, it's way different from the original, with a better story, animation, and a guest voice actress. So go and check it out. Someone you also have to check out is Dolllynx. She made this beautiful white wolf, who used to be in a relationship with Boris. Do you want to know the full background story? And how she made this amazing wolf? Check out Dolllynx's channel. Links are in the description box. If you liked watching this video, I have many more repaint videos of handsome boys on my channel. But if you already watched all of those, I have many more videos for you on Patreon and YouTube membership. So go check them out. The upcoming 2 repaint videos will be there. But before I go, I would love to thank my patrons of honor: Chelsea Penna Monkey, Maddening Dreams, Winter Fox, Cat Vanity, Kenamaru, Picha the Buff, and everyone else who supported this channel through Patreon and YouTube memberships. Thank you guys, you really make this channel possible. Thank you for watching. And like always, like if you liked it and sub if you loved it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!